let's go ahead and jump on into this. So Crux, introduce us to Kaspa.
All right. So Casper it's Aramaic for silver. So people typically see silver as a medium of exchange as opposed to gold, which is like a store of value. People don't really trade with gold. They just store it, and usually over time it just goes up and right. And then Caspa's like, well, we need to develop something fast, cheap. Bitcoin typically takes about 6 different confirmations across 10-minute blocks. So about an hour on average to confirm fully and finality. And Caspa's like, well, that's effective in terms of like where we were in 2009, but I'm a strong believer of evolution. So as you leave 2009 and Bitcoin starts to get adopted, all of these cypherpunks on the Bitcoin forums are starting to go at it. They're like, oh, we need to add more data size to blocks, or we need to add more scalability. And this is the birth of like Bitcoin Cash and or like Litecoin. But part of that was essentially somebody who created a directed acyclic graph. And this is where Kaspa really begins to shine. So this is in my opinion, a revolutionary technology. It is where we have evolved from a blockchain, which is one block to the next, to allow a block to go to select from a different set of other blocks. So currently, after the crescendo hard fork, not to go like too long-winded here, but we're currently sitting at about 10 blocks per second, with each one being able to do about up to about 400 transactions per second. In fact, Kaspa has set a proof of work network for the most scalable with 5,500 transactions per second, which was not considered dust or bot spam. So it's pretty interesting, I think, in terms of entering the Takata era, which is about a month ago, it became fully programmable. And now it's like, this is where the project either survives and it or it dies. So we will see. But I would say that's like the brief little general understanding of what Kaspa is. It's currently a payments network that has slowly evolved into what is programmable now.
So, hey, David, would you mind bringing up a chart for Kaspa? I want to have you and Crux, kind of talk some charts really quick now that he's kind of introduced it, and then we'll kind of get back into the discussion. But I definitely want to hear
Absolutely.
what you two gentlemen have to say about the charts and what's going on in the markets today. And then Crux, I know that you mentioned before the show when we were chatting about your analysis on Bitcoin. So if you want to go ahead and jump into that as well. Here we go.
So yeah, why don't we keep it just for a moment? I want to keep it focused on Kaspa because so Crux, Kaspa is a project that I like. I actually happen to really like this one. I never had a chance to mine the thing, back in the day before the Ethereum merge, but I wanted to, and I saw just how successful those guys were that did mine Kaspa and hold on to their bags, from years and years ago. So I'm interested in learning more about this one. And so here's the monthly. Let me zoom in a little bit to the weekly. But these data only go back to 2022. So I know that Kaspa is actually kind of I don't know, I wouldn't call it a dino coin, but it's been around for a while, right? When was this founded? When was it started?
Yeah, so the last bull market was its first bull market. So all the technology was it's being worked on before the launch, and the last one was the first one. So that actually did go back to the inception of it. It's kind of like Canton Coin. Canton Coin got released last year, but they've been at work since 2014, digital asset as.
Okay, so when was Kaspa Network launched? Because I swear I remember in 2018 and 2019, people talking about mining Kaspa, because after the Ethereum merge, you could no longer mine ETH with all those GPUs. So,
I know during a brief moment within that first 6 months or so, there was a lot of this person did something unethical and now it got forked, so this happened. So there's a lot of weird stuff that happened in the first 6 months of it. But at the same time, it's well, you've moved on this long and it hasn't died. I think if something happened and it survived, it's fine. But some people may disagree. So,
yeah, no. So I think you're right. So it looks like it launched its mainnet on November 7th, 2021. Genesis block November 8th, 2021. Okay, so these data go back to 2022. So we're missing about a year of data here, but that's okay. Let's just see what we see here. All right. So whenever I'm looking at a chart like this and it's kind of difficult to just quickly identify anything, maybe you could throw down resistance there, but not really. It already got broken. Um, let's see. What else could you do? You could mark those October 10th flash crash lows. You could say that this is a level of support because you've got right here with this arrow, you've got that support, and then look at where the flash crash low has found support. So you could say that this is maybe a floor underneath, and this is market cap. So this is crypto market cap for Kaspa, sitting at $708 million market cap right now. So, okay, maybe you have a floor right there, but what else do we see? Well, you know what? When it's difficult for me to find, a pattern that jumps out to me, sometimes I'll just use a fib, extension or retracement here, just a Fibonacci to see, okay, where's the 618? Because usually that 618 is an important level. Okay, and notice, not only do I think it's an important level, but you've got resistance here. So this rally in June of 25 up to July of 25 found resistance at the 618 fib. So, okay, maybe that's important. And the top of the market cap was at $5 billion. I mean, this thing really rallied. So it's drawn down from its highs by 85% or so?
Yes.
Yeah, let's take a look at Kaspa in US dollar terms, though. Okay, so this is a bullish pattern. This falling wedge here that I drew in probably months ago. I like Kaspa, so I put a buy level for myself in down here at less than a penny. I don't think it gets down there. It's trading for 2.5 cents right now. But let me ask you this, Crux. Have you ever operated natively on Kaspa?
I have not. I've never launched an application or anything as such, but I have during the KRC 20, like the Casplex launch and everything. I was minting meme coins on day one. All those meme coins are basically down 99.999%. So, but I was part of different things that have happened during Caspa's existence. Yes.
Okay. So have you? Because I tried using this thing. I think, Mike, when we went through that deep dive research on Kaspa, and we went through that deep dive research on Kaspa. I'm in the Intel library right now, just searching it up, KAS. We did that on July 22nd of this year. So on July 22nd, if anyone wants to go back and watch the show, I tried to operate natively on Kaspa. Mm-hmm. And dude, I wasn't able to figure out how to do it.
Sure.
I mean, okay, so I'm pretty sure that I've got a Kaspa wallet in here somewhere. If I just search it up, yeah, it's called Castle. The wallet that I have is called Castle. So Crux, one thing that's super important for me whenever I'm taking a look at a project is, honestly, bro, I don't care about the tech. What I care about is, can I operate on this thing? Does it have stable coins? Are there dollars there? Can I do DeFi on this chain? Who uses it? What's the transaction volume looking like? Is there transaction volume? These are kind of nuts and bolts basics for me that are super important. Yeah. So I know that they're building smart contracts here, and that's super exciting because I like it. I like the idea of it. What can you tell us about the smart contracts?
Yeah. So within, let's just go back to what you said right before that with the the trifecta. We kind of talked about how Bitcoin didn't exactly pass it, but it ended up being the biggest currency. And this is kind of how I look at Kaspa. Is there's very few projects that I have in this different category than I would compare everything else. And the reason is really because it's a proof of work network. And this chart right here shows exactly that. It shows the fact that in the first half of the last bull market, it did well. And then it just dies off. And that's a whole different shift from everything just pumped with Bitcoin all the way into 2025. And then it dumped mainly together. And that's kind of how I treat proof of work networks. You have to throw a caveat on basically everything. And also they are fair launched. Therefore they don't get multi-billion-dollar teams together and then get this VC funding and get all these developers. And you got 10 guys working on one thing. When we talk about the smart contracts, which alludes to your most recent question, we just released a Silver Script, which was created by Ori Newman, I think. Ori something, I forgot his last name. And this is essentially used to help people develop. Now, the code was initially launched in Golang, and then over time has switched and migrated to Rust, which is basically what Solana uses. It's pretty programmable. But with the smart contracts, you want to have that initial base layer and something good, like, Cardano chose Haskell, something that cannot be broken. Like, nobody's going to learn Haskell to try to break your network. But once you get developers, like if I want to go build an app, or if Mike or you want to go build an app, it has to be something that's we can use it. Like, we're not like the smartest of the smartest in terms of devs, but we can program effectively on it. And
what do you mean? What do you mean, Crux? Pretty smart over here, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not.
well, I mean, we're not devs. I think you are a dev.
I built a couple dApps. Yeah. I built a private Bitcoin wallet. I built a dApp on Ethereum, and that's about it. So 2 things.
Well, I used an AI once to try to build a dApp. So does that make me a dev?
Yeah, I got some computer science hours under my belt. So
yeah.
So.
Okay, so I did dig up a couple of different, I don't know, maybe dApps you could call them, on Kaspa.
Yeah.
So, one thing, Crux, that I'm always, focused on is, okay, the text is great. All the tech is great. Cool tech, right? Mm-hmm. And the coin, look, a drawdown like this, to be completely honest, is normal in crypto. And this chart looks a hell of a lot more healthy than most other charts for alts in crypto. So, those are good things. And also, this is a very beautiful falling wedge. Like, this is a very bullish pattern right here. So those are positives in my book. Now, what I need to be able to do, though, is there has to be more than just tech. Like, there's got to be some substance to it, right? You got to be able to operate on it. So I dug up a couple of sites here. So here's one. This is Zelcore. I guess this is like a wallet that you can use to operate on Kaspa. I found the Kaspa wiki. Have you ever taken a look at this, Crux?
Yeah, so that Kaspa wiki, so recently that Kaspa website, it got shifted. I want to say like maybe 2 months ago, but they redesigned everything. The wiki is a little different than what I typically use to really learn about it. But yeah, that's going to be the most effective place to learn about Kaspa. I've taken a couple of looks at the new one, yeah.
Okay, so because I know that there's a lot of guys who are into mining Kaspa. Mm-hmm. And, I'm actually pretty curious about getting into mining, for Bitcoin now, because I've been seeing more and more posts that, it could make sense potentially. Maybe, big question mark there. But, it looks like there are other coins that you could mine. Maybe Kaspa is one of them. But what do you know about mining Kaspa? Because that was my first introduction to Kaspa.
Yeah, so I personally do not mine. The way that I look at the Kaspa network is like, if it's not me, then it's who. And I'm trying to like somewhat become the face of it, and I think that's how most creators should be, in terms of, this is a fair launch with 100% certainty. You can say, I'm not coming on the node network and someone is paying me to pitch this. This is what I truly believe. And in terms of mining in general, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this, but I don't think it should be profitable when mining. And I think what this does is it gives the people that are willing to put their money forth the most consensus of where the direction is headed. Therefore, like, it's not some massive marathon who's just profiting, and they don't have the best interest of the network. So I think that would probably get rid of a lot of like if I buy this thing for like $2,000, then I mine with this ASIC miner or whatever, KS whatever miner you're going to use, then it's going to take me literally 6 years to ROI it before so why should I do it? My idea would be, you believe in Kaspa, so you're willing to go negative for $2,000 and then try to keep this network going. But with the emissions, it's rough. If Kaspa dies, it's because the emission schedules, it sucks, in my opinion. So it's basically an annual thing. And every month, it basically compounds into a full halving within 1 year. So it's 4 times faster than Bitcoin. By about 1 decade from now, 100% will be in existence. So we will see. I mean, we're entering unproven territory. But I think to answer like the question before that, you have to be so big that they can't ignore you anymore. And that's the only way tech will work. So if my speculation is the tech, and it's not about adoption, it has to be Bitcoin story, where Bitcoin became so big that they had to put it on IBIT, put it on all these things. And the way I look at Kaspa is like the only way, like all these little apps that we can pull up right now, that's not going to save Kaspa. What's going to save Kaspa is it gets entered into an ETF, or if it gets entered into, these types of things where institutions start putting it on their balance sheets. And that is like a Hail Mary. And it's kind of like, if it's community driven, I do think every single project does need the app, like a Radium for Solana, or like an Aave for Ethereum. Like every single blockchain needs an app at a minimum. But I think in terms of who the real winners are, it's the institutions that choose those.